after the suicide killer targeted government vehicles. No group has yet claimed responsibility, but Shabab insurgents have launched a series of guerrilla-style attacks in Mogadishu. The insurgents have vowed to topple the president, who took office last year after being chosen by the country's new parliament. Mogadishu has been rocked by several small attacks in recent months. Protesters opposed to President Mohamed Morsi demonstrated in Cairo's Tahrir Square and set a police car on fire Monday. The incident comes a night after demonstrators clashed with police outside the headquarters of the Muslim Brotherhood. Demonstrations against the Muslim Brotherhood and President Morsi, formerly a senior leader of the group, have turned increasingly violent in recent months and have spread throughout the country. Oil workers in Gabon have suspended a strike begun 1 week ago. The decision was announced by the Oil Workers Organization after some of its demands were met, including the government's agreement to rehire about a dozen former employees and repatriate the French Director General of Schlumberger, Gabon. Union leaders say the strike could resume if negotiations taking place with the government do not result in new concrete measures. Congo's ruling Congolese Workers' Party and its allies have mobilized thousands of supporters in Brazzaville in reaction against a rally by the country's opposition. The ruling party, of which President Denis Sassou Nguesso is a member, said Congo is neither in crisis nor at an impasse. The party has called on the opposition to take part in a dialogue the government is planning to organize.
Venezuelan's interim president, Nicolas Maduro, has accused the United States of plotting to kill the country's main opposition figure in order to create chaos in the country. Barely a month before the presidential election, and the row between India and Italy has escalated to a new level. This after India's Supreme Court ruled that the Italian ambassador to Delhi has no immunity. Let's look at that report.
Presidential elections in Venezuela, there's an alleged plot against the life of Venezuela's leading opposition politician. Venezuela's acting president, Nicolas Maduro, has accused the United States of plotting the assassination in order to create chaos in Venezuela. The target of the alleged assassination plot, Enrique Capriles, who will run against Nicolas Maduro, says his rival would be to blame for anything that happens to him. India's Supreme Court ruled that Italy's ambassador has no diplomatic immunity in an escalating row over Italy's refusal to return 2 Marines accused of killing 2 fishermen. The ambassador, Daniel Mancini, negotiated the release of the 2 Marines who skipped bail while on trial for murder in New Delhi. The Indian government has warned of consequences, and now Italy's ambassador has to stay in India until a new hearing. In Pakistan, at least 4 people were killed in a suicide attack in Peshawar. The suicide bomber blew himself up in a court complex. The attack was carried out a day after Pakistan successfully completed a first full term by an elected government for the first time in the country's history. The French authorities celebrated a record aviation contract at the president's official residence, the Élysée Palace, Monday morning. The Indonesian low-cost airline called Lion Air has ordered 234 Airbus jets. The contract is worth over 18 billion euros and guarantees 5,000 workers jobs over the next 10 years. Lion Air is banned in the European Union and the United States over safety concerns.
Pyongyang has conducted a 3rd nuclear test and has declared that it's prepared to launch a preemptive nuclear strike. As tensions escalated between the U.S. and North Korea, South Koreans watched the drama unfold quietly. But as recurring reports, a growing number of people want Seoul to have its own nuclear arsenal.
May have perfected the art of bluffing after weeks of apocalyptic threats. The North Korean regime and its quest to become a nuclear state is being taken very seriously south of the border.
The question is, for South Koreans, Can we live peacefully with nuclear-armed North Korea? The answer is no.
South Korean lawmaker Chung Moo-jun, the son of the founder of Hyundai, believes his country can no longer sit on its hands watching its belligerent neighbour develop nuclear weapons. He says it's time for South Korea to have its own nuclear arsenal.
Well, the nuclear deterrence can be the only answer. We have to have nuclear capability.
And it would appear South Koreans tend to agree. Recent polls show that 2/3 of citizens surveyed support the idea, especially in the wake of North Korea's third nuclear test carried out last month. Back in 1991, South Korea voluntarily gave up its nuclear deterrence after signing a denuclearization agreement with Pyongyang, which saw the US remove its nuclear tactical weapons from the country. The US remains South Korea's ultimate insurance policy by falling under its nuclear umbrella. There are also 28,000 American troops stationed in the country, a sign of commitment to its ally. But conservatives believe Seoul needs to position itself the same way Israel has against its nuclear enemy, Iran.
In Iran or in the Middle East situation, we know the existence of Israel is a huge deterrent to any power, any country in the region trying to or wishing to go nuclear, right? Because we know that the Israeli have a proven record of retaliating or preemptively striking.
Well, there are concerns that a nuclear-armed South Korea could damage its economy and affect relations with its neighbours and its key ally, the United States. Mr. Jung and his supporters believe that may be the price they have to pay to ensure denuclearization on the Korean peninsula. Regardless of whether or not South Korea goes down the nuclear route, the government under new President Park Geun-hye says if there is any military provocation from Pyongyang, it will retaliate with destructive force. Anna Corrin, CNN, Seoul.
We now take our second break. Welcome back, and before we go, a reminder of our headlines. President Jammeh has urged WAEC's highest policy-making body to look deep into the issue of discipline, citing its effects on the development of the education sector in West Africa. Gambia Bureau of Statistics is gearing up for the fast-approaching population and housing census slated for April this year with a 6-day training for trainers. Interim Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has accused the United States for seeking to plunge his country into chaos. And North Korea has conducted another nuclear test, the third such test despite a new wave of sanctions targeting Pyongyang's financial sector. That's it for the news. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the rest of our programs.
Mr. Kamal, some friends of mine came to see me to ask for a favor.
I'm the representative of Omega Energy in East Africa. We have a slight challenge and would like you to help us with it as Minister in charge of procurements and standards.
If you're not ready to do it, then you better not try. It's only a road that leads to heartache and pain.
Hi, lady.
Jeez, you scared me. I need a huge favor from you.
Okay.
I need
what?
him to get